Hey, you guys. Can everybody hear me? Oh man, I gotta figure where are the messages? How do I even do a message? Let's see. Okay. This is my first time doing a chat, so I don't know what the hell I'm doing, you guys, so bear with me. All right, we're getting some people in now. So I wanted to try to do these live streams after each video release from now on, now that I'm back on YouTube. I think it'll be a really cool way to kind of make a community about the channel and get feedback from everyone. And also to be able to show a lot of things that I don't show in the videos, behind the scenes things, and talk about some of the more interesting and detailed areas of the builds and things that happen to produce the videos. So I'm not sure, like, what do you guys, for all of you that are here, what are the things that are most interesting to you? Like, is it the superhero armor? Is it the weapons? Is it the gadgets? What kind of things do you mostly watch for? And I'm not seeing any messages, but all right. Well, while I wait for that, I'm going to talk about the gun, the Quad Blaster Starlord gun. So I've always liked Guardians of the Galaxy. I think it's a very unique show compared to some of the other Marvel movies, and I've always loved the gun, and so I decided to make one. And the gun uses the exact same firework that I use in my Mark One armor. In one of the gauntlets, it shoots the same exact thing, and that firework actually looks a lot like the Starlord Quad Blaster when it's on stun, and the video doesn't really capture how cool it is. When you see it in person, it's way, the sound is like sort of in your face and in your ears. It's much more powerful. But anyway, the video gives you the basic idea of it. So in that gun, I decided to try something new. I made ammunition that's auto reload. So basically, I made little 3D printed cartridges, and I'm going to show you those. Here's the gun, and the little 3D printed cartridges just slide in, and they basically have RCA jacks. There's a male there, and then the female is in there, and all you do is just stick it in, and it stays in place. So the cool thing about this is you could carry, well, what I'm going to eventually do is make a little holster for the gun and a little pack for the ammo, so I can just swap it out quick. And this is the first time I've ever done that, and it worked really well. So I'm thinking I'm going to incorporate this same concept into some of my armor weapons where I can have an auto reload, because the old way that I used to do it was I would just wire it direct each time, and that was a nightmare because you had to take it apart, hook up the wiring. So you basically had to go home, take the thing apart to reload it. And so this is a huge improvement. I've had this idea for 10 years, but I just finally got around to doing it. So that was kind of one of the reasons that I also decided to make the gun. I wanted to try some new ideas, and I thought this would be an easy way to do it. The gun is actually really simple to build. It's just 3D printed into two halves, and there's just a safety in the back here, and the blue light comes on and shows you that there's power flashes. And then you've got two triggers here. That's for the top barrel, and there's a trigger for the bottom barrel. So you can fire them both at once. I didn't do that in the video, but either way, and auto reload. So pretty simple. There's really nothing to it. It's just a battery. There's a little battery case under here, a rechargeable LiPo battery. And like I said, these, if you saw in the video, these are just basically fireworks with a model rocket igniter inserted in. And then in the design, there's sort of like little, I don't know if you can see that. The model rocket igniter just slides into there and screws into place. So it's actually really easy to put together and build. So anyway, that was a fun project, and just kind of a taste of what's coming. I've got a whole bunch of ideas coming to the channel that I'm going to be doing. If you saw the YouTube short that I did the other day, you get to see first look at the Mark III armor, and the Mark III is basically sort of like a motorcycle jacket armor, and the helmet. You get to see a brief glimpse of the helmet in there, but I've got a new helmet now since that video. And the helmet is sort of a final design now. After years of trying to perfect helmets, I finally sat down and spent 6 months designing a new superhero helmet that had all the features that I wanted, and it's 3D printed. And so that's going to be, you're going to see a lot of that in the upcoming videos also. So the next few videos I've got planned, you'll see an actual presentation of the Mark III, the helmet, and just the features that I have on the suit. So yeah, there's a lot coming. One interesting thing when I was filming this episode for the Starlord Blaster, oh my gosh, it was actually a lot of problems happened. I went out to the field. There's a soccer field near here, and I went out there just at dusk to shoot it, and hit record and had everything all ready and went to fire it. Nothing fired. Tried the other one, nothing fired. So apparently the battery had died. So I had to come back, reload. Now I missed dusk, so I had to wait till the next day, and I went back the next day, and I had everything set up, the camera set up, had the gun in my hand. I just hit record, and I hear something over to the left of me, and I turn, and it's the sheriff. So yeah, that was a little weird, but I just sort of lowered the gun so he didn't freak out, and then he just kept going. But so I had a lot of problems filming that video. There was just too many people around. I didn't want to just shoot it off where there's people around, so it was quite the challenge. Yeah, so the ideas, some of the things that went really well on this gun design were the reloadable ammo that I talked about. The thing that I didn't like, I don't like making exact replicas. I prefer to just make it work in the best way possible. And so it's similar to the original Starlord gun, but I wasn't interested in copying it. But if I were to do this over, some of the things that I learned is I really would like to make another one of these, but smaller. It doesn't really need to be this big. I mean, I just made it this size to sort of replicate the approximate size of Starlord's quad blaster. But I'd like to make a new version that has that the barrels are shorter, and instead of 2 shots, I'd like to do 2 shots in each barrel. And then what I would do is just still have the same 2 triggers, but I would do a selector switch on the back, so I could select from shot 1 and shot 2, and so I could fire, the top trigger would fire the first barrel, the bottom trigger would fire the bottom barrel, and then I could switch the selector switch over and then get 2 more shots out of it, and all of them would be reloadable, same as this style. That would be a lot more practical. I could do 2 guns, and that was my original plan. I just ran out of time for making the video. And the other problem with having 2 guns is, you guys haven't seen it, but I have a shield now, so I can't use 2 guns if one arm is in a shield. So that was the reason also that I'd like to do 4 shots. So that would be another upgrade for it. One thing that I would do different is I put the safety down here, which really I put it there just because that was the easiest place to put it inside of the housing, since the battery was up here. But honestly, that's a terrible spot for a safety. if you're going to shoot the gun, the best would be right here, hit the safety, and then you're ready to fire. So you just hit it once, it turns on the power, the LED blinks to show that there's power to the barrels, and then you just push the button to fire it. And don't worry, this one's already a spent ammunition. I didn't want to bring live ammo on here, just in case. So yeah, I think I'm going to rebuild that gun. I think I'm going to redesign it and make it smaller with the 4 barrels. That's on my list of things to do. And I like the idea of carrying a gun with my armor. My only problem with that, I don't know, what do you guys think, is that, police nowadays, I don't know how they would they realize this is a gun? Would they freak out if they saw me riding somewhere with this? I don't know, but I'm still debating it. I'm going to build it. And also, if you guys are interested, I put the STL files on my website. The STL files are there with the schematics, the name of the firework that I used, and everything is there. So if you're interested in it, it's there. And I have a whole bunch more things that are going to be coming. Let's see what else. Yeah, as far as safety, those fireworks are, as long as you're not shooting it at someone. I mean, if you shoot it at someone, it's definitely going to hurt. I don't know how much damage it'll do because I've never shot it at anyone, but it's basically pretty powerful. I think it'll burn you, so you want to stay away from it. And just like anything, once the ammo is live in there, it's just very dangerous. You got to act like it's a loaded weapon at that point. So I've had a few accidents over the years with these things, and I've learned my lesson it's better to be safe than sorry. I don't know how to look at the chat here. It only pops up on my screen and then it disappears. I don't know if that's normal. Let's see, chat viewing options. But if you guys have any questions, throw them at me. I'd be happy to answer anything. So yeah, I haven't made videos on YouTube in 3 years, but this entire time I've been building armor nonstop. In fact, I'm up to the Mark V. I have 5 suits of armor now, and you've only seen the first 2. If you've watched the YouTube short, that was the Mark III, and I've got a Mark IV and a Mark V also. And they're all, I would say, 90-95% completed. And so I'm going to just focus now on the Mark III. That's the one you're going to see in most of these upcoming videos. And I want to finish it out completely 100%. The armor itself is done. The helmet is done. I just need to incorporate the night vision into the Mark III, and then you'll see that in every single video pretty much from that point forward. I'll be doing a lot of videos with the Mark III. And as far as weapon systems, I've got a weapons backpack for the Mark III that I built with a flamethrower, pepper spray, and a taser. Those seem to be my favorite, most effective weapons. So those are going to be in most of the suits going forward. But I'm not happy with that weapons backpack. I want to rebuild it. I'm going to redesign it in a new housing, and my idea is to make it universally swappable between all the suits. So in other words, you'll have the back of the Mark III, and it'll have maybe some kind of magnetic mounts, some kind of latching system where I can just put the weapons pack on, latch it into place, and then it'll function onto that suit. And then if I wanted to, I could swap it out with the Mark IV, the Mark II, or the Mark V. And that way I don't have to keep building these weapons packs, because honestly, it's a lot of work and it costs a lot of money. It's a lot of wasted time. I find myself just keep rebuilding the same weapons systems over and over. And I thought, if I can just build one amazing weapons pack, then I can swap it out to any of my suits and use any of the different armors for it. So that's going to be coming up for the Mark III. And then I've got another video coming out in 2 weeks. And that's going to be a Batman utility belt for the upcoming movie, The Flash. So I built a 3D printed weapons belt, and it's full of gadgets. It's got a bunch of back gadgets in it, like some practical things, some just little cool trinkets that I've picked up over the years, and some tactical gear. So I'll be showing that in a couple of weeks. And the one big thing that's changed, one of the biggest reasons that I decided to come back, like I said, I've been building suits the whole entire time, but there were a bunch of issues with YouTube, so I needed a break and I needed to figure out a new strategy to try to make it work. And one of the cool things that I came up with, it literally has changed my life in so many ways, is the electric unicycle. If you guys watch the YouTube short, then you would have seen the electric unicycle. It's funny because I've had my eye on that thing for 4 years. I saw a video of it maybe 4 years ago, and I thought, oh, that's so amazing. If I could use that in combination with my armor, it would be incredible. It's like a great tactical machine. But then I started watching videos. I watched probably 100 videos on people riding those, and I thought, oh, it just looks so difficult. It looks so impossible to learn. And I just put the idea down and sort of forgot about it. I thought, there's no way I'm going to be able to learn that quickly. It's going to take me years to master it. And then I was on vacation um, in January, and I saw a guy riding down the street, riding one of those electric unicycles, and he was all suited up. He was suited up from head to toe in armor. He had a helmet, he had crash pads, everything covered, and he was just riding down the sidewalk. And I noticed, I just couldn't believe I saw somebody close up riding it. But the thing that really shocked me was the guy was armored head to toe, and he was just riding, and nobody cared. Nobody looked at him. Nobody gave him funny stares. He was just riding around, and I, just watching him ride that thing, I thought, that's it. I'm buying an electric unicycle, because I had the idea at that moment. I thought, you know what? If I have that electric unicycle, I can wear my suits. I can wear my armor out in public for training, for field testing, and it gives me sort of an excuse to do those things. Whereas before, it would be very odd to see a guy wearing a suit of armor out in public doing anything. So the wheel has changed everything. So the other thing about the wheel, when I bought it, the first time I got on that wheel, I thought, oh my God, this is never going to work. It's going to take me years to learn this. And then I figured out a few little quick techniques on how to get better at it. And what I found was that, I don't know if it's, maybe I just have a natural knack for it or something. It's possible, but I just mastered that wheel fast. It took me maybe a month, and I was completely comfortable on it. I'm to the point now where I can ride at high speeds. I think my wheel tops out at about 22 miles an hour. And I mean, I'm fast. I can navigate quickly on it. I can turn. I can do all kinds of amazing things. So it's definitely been a game changer for me with the armor. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can change these settings. Oh man, there's all kinds of weird buttons down here. Chat viewing options. Okay. Yeah, so the wheel you're going to see a lot in the videos out in public wearing my armor, and you're going to see a lot of that. And honestly, it's really hilarious. I jump on my wheel almost every day, and I suit up in my Mark III, and I go out and I ride. And the reaction from people is just makes me smile every time. Some people give me this look like this guy is completely insane, and some people are just smiling ear to ear. And the little kids, especially, almost every little kid that I pass, they're just in awe seeing that suit. So it's a lot of fun. It's really enjoyable riding the wheel, and wearing my armor. It is even more fun. So the next thing I really want to do is start field testing some of the equipment, some of the gadgets and weapons. And I think of it as basically I'm doing training. So I'm not just out there riding the wheel for fun. I'm actually training myself, training my legs, my feet to get stronger, training my skills at wheel riding, navigation, unexpected things happening. Sometimes people will just jump in front of you. You got to be able to stop fast and not crash, and also to get used to the armor. It's a really cool way to field test the armor, because sometimes, when you guys see the videos with the armor, it's like anything on YouTube. When you have people designing and building things on YouTube, you see the final video and you think, oh, this is amazing. But sometimes the reality is that behind the scenes, some of this stuff is like falling apart or it's malfunctioning. It might take, 3 takes to get a good shot of something to look cool. And I try to learn from those things because I don't want it to just look cool. I want it to work reliably and effectively. So I like the idea of field testing, pushing it to the limits. If I crash on the wheel, by the way, I've never fallen, I've never crashed, knock on wood. But if I were to fall and crash, I want to make sure that the armor survives. The whole idea of the armor is to protect me. So, it needs to perform under real life situations. And that's sort of why the new the new strategy of the channel is going to be a lot of real life, I don't know, real life superhero things where I just go out in public and I wear my full entire suit of armor and I ride the wheel and I stop and I do testing and, all kinds of cool things. I can do some night things with the night vision goggles, some tactical training with the weapons. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And so next Friday, I'll have a video and I'll talk some more about those things. But that was one of the main reasons that I decided in a really cool style that I haven't seen anyone else doing. And it makes it way more fun for me. And it makes it actually easier for me because we can hold the camera on a selfie stick and it films 360 degrees everywhere around me simultaneously. So it doesn't matter where I hold the camera. I can hold it up here, over here, pointing down, wherever, it doesn't matter. And then later I can go into the footage and I can zoom in on myself. I can zoom in on someone that I passed by. I can zoom in on scenery. So I can reframe it anywhere in that 360 degrees, which that's an amazing breakthrough, because before you would have needed a cameraman to sit there and frame you into the shot, and now I don't need that at all anymore. So that's going to allow me to do really cool shots for the armor, and you'll get to see the armor then in real life, how it looks if I were to pass you by riding it on my wheel. So let's see what other things I was going to talk about. Man, I don't know how to look at the chat. This YouTube interface sucks. It's like it just shows the people in here, but it doesn't show me anything about the chats. Can somebody stick up a message just for a second so I can see it? The only time I've seen messages is when you guys send a message, it appears for just a split second and then it disappears. I'm not sure how to make it stay there. I can't even look at the previous. It's on live chat. I don't know. All right, I'm just going to ramble on then. If you guys have questions, though, ask it. Like I said, I saw some pop up there, but I don't know how to use this interface at all. So as far as the other suits, you're going to see the Mark IV and the Mark V eventually, but so the Mark III isn't even completely finished. Well, part of it is that I'm a perfectionist, and that's a huge weakness of mine, because when you're a perfectionist, you tend to not finish things because you almost finish it and then you say, I could have done this better. I have a better idea. If I start over, it's easier than just trying to finish this. And so this is what I ended up doing with a lot of my armor. The Mark I was the only armor that was entirely 100% finished working. The Mark II, I built the armor. If you guys have seen the video for that, I built the armor and it was great armor. It actually fits me really well and it's very comfortable and it's super protective, but I never weaponized it. And because I had other ideas like the Mark III, which the Mark III is more like a motorcycle jacket. So it's very easy to put on and off. and it's more tactical, I would say. And from the Mark III, as I was building it, I thought, okay, I can do this better also. And so that was the Mark IV. The Mark IV is sort of an improved version of the Mark III. And then I've got a Mark V armor, which is the first actual battle armor that I've built. It's like if you were to go into combat, into a war zone, you'd want to wear the Mark V. The Mark V is fully bulletproof from head to toe. It's got Kevlar padding covered in titanium plate. And if you guys have seen any of my weapons testing, titanium plate will stop any handgun round. And so basically with the titanium and Kevlar combined, that suit is fully bulletproof for any handgun rounds, assuming the round hits you in the armor. There are some small spots where it armor, but it's basically an upgraded version of the Mark I armor, but it's fully bulletproof. And I've got a new weapons system for that with another weapons backpack. So I'm still trying to figure out, can I just make one weapons backpack and have it universally swappable between all the various suits? That's my goal. But the Mark V armor, it's about 90% done. Everything is done on the armor except the weapon systems. So the weapon system's built, everything's hooked up, or everything is installed, but there's a couple of wires, final testing that I need to do, and connecting the gauntlet to the backpack. So like I said, I'll get to that probably by fall. I'll get into the Mark IV and the Mark V. I might give you guys a sneak peek sometime later, but we'll see how it goes with the Mark III. So yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna try to release a video every single Friday from now on. And if for some reason, I have issues, sometimes you build something and it just doesn't work, and there's just no way you can get the video done in time. Sometimes life happens. If that happens, I told myself no matter what, I'm at least going to release a YouTube short. So the YouTube shorts will be my backup just in case. At least I'll be able to produce something much easier without a whole lot of editing. And I do plan to do a lot more YouTube shorts. And the only thing about the shorts I've noticed is YouTube doesn't send out notifications to subscribers, so you kind of have to look on the channel for that. One thing I'm also planning to change here is, and I didn't do this before when I was making videos, but I really want to do something different with the YouTube shorts. I want to do more superhero inspirational videos. So the longer videos will be things like build videos showing like a show and tell, showing you, hey, this YouTube shorts, I want to do sort of more philosophical things about superheroes. Like, what is a superhero? What does it really mean? Like, is it all fantasy? Is there such a thing in real life? I want to do sort of some philosophical shorts on this topic, and I'll make them entertaining also, but I want them to be very inspirational. Because one thing about my channel that I insist in the style that I like to film in, I insist that it be inspirational in some way, because I think that's, if I were a kid, that's the one thing that would trigger me the most to get into building armor and building gadgets and weapons, would be the inspirational part. Like when you watch a cool movie with a superhero in it, you get inspired. You think, that looks amazing. I want to build the same thing. Iron Man, Captain America. So show people, hey, this is what I've done. This is what's possible if you put your mind to something and you focus on it and you just pursue it with passion and purpose. And that's pretty much what I've tried to do. Honestly, I don't even really like being in front of the camera at all. I'm not that type of person. I'm more low key. I'm a bit of an introvert. So it's very unusual for me to be on YouTube, period. And that's why you'll notice in a lot of videos I prefer to do voiceovers. It's just easier for me. I feel more relaxed if I'm able to do a voiceover. But now that I can actually wear my armor out in public, I think it'll be a lot better. For me, it's a lot easier. For some reason, when I put that suit on and that helmet on, it just changes everything. Like I feel like a completely different person. It's very strange to explain, but you'll get to see it firsthand in the upcoming footage. I've already got some great footage with the Mark III out in public and some of the public reactions. So you guys will get to see it firsthand. So, yeah, I'm gonna be releasing the YouTube Shorts at least one a week, and I'm gonna try to produce a long video at least one a week. And some will be build videos, but not very often because those take a lot of work with editing. And honestly, the previous build videos that I had done, they were just exhausting. I mean, I was working such long hours just building the hardware and then having to edit and get everything right. It was just so overwhelming. It was just way too much work. And that was one of the reasons that I stopped making videos, because I literally got to the point where I couldn't even finish the builds. I couldn't do the builds anymore because my time was just taken up with technical issues with editing, ideas, trying to get everything out there. It was a lot of work. So in the future, I'm going to switch to this other format where you'll see a lot of live action things. I'll be out there riding the wheel in real life and talking about superhero related things, doing demonstrations and things like that. So, yeah. All right. I have no idea where the comments are. I still can't see any comments. Sorry guys, if you're asking questions, this YouTube interface is absolutely horrible. There's nothing on here to click. I've clicked like every possible button. I still can't see anything to show the comments. So I guess, let's see, top chat. Yeah, it just doesn't give me any options. All right, so I guess I'm going to sign off since I have no way of seeing your comments at all. Sorry if you're typing me any comments. I literally can't see anything on this terrible interface. So I'll try to be more prepared next time. Maybe I'll buy some software that does this live streaming better than the YouTube software. So yeah, thanks for watching. And like I said, I'll try to have a YouTube short video and a long video again next week. Next week's going to be a really cool video. You're going to get to see the wheel close up. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to show you. You're going to get to see the Mark III in that video also. And you'll see some of the cool things that, some huge revolutionary things that brought me back to YouTube that I really want to show. I think they're super cool, and I think you guys will like it. So that's it. Until next time, Captain Intrigue out.